I'm Yasharala. This is your brother Dawada from GMS St. Petersburg, Florida, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, or Chak Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. All right, so I want to jump into this here lesson, basically dealing with this here coming persecution. All right. As we see what's going on in the news, they slowly but surely, hey man, this year is starting out to pop off, you know what I'm saying, with a bang, but nevertheless, here in January, you already got these, you have this video, all right, about, which could have seemed like it was just so happened to be where some news was happening that, there was some Israelites, but, as it seems by, looking more into it, that's not quite what it seems, that the so-called Native American guy that's in the video, there's other videos showing him in that video, it's almost like one of these little actor peoples, but nevertheless, you know what I'm saying? And also with the same camp that was on there, but nevertheless, we already know what's prepared for us, was what we have to look forward to, don't get it twisted, when you see the men of the Lord out there, preaching and talking, and saying things like, 2/3 of our people are going to get put to death. If you don't turn back to the Lord, you're going to get put to death, so on and so forth. We're not in a position where we just think that, everything going to just be all good for us. We know we have to go through tribulation as well, too. We have to endure to the end. It's not saying just, hey, man, you just got to wait till the ride get there and then that's it. I mean, basically that it is what it is, but we still have to endure coming persecution, it's not going to be easy. We still have to be able to make it through, but nevertheless, getting into this here story, we also have things to go through as well, too, in these last days, right before things start popping off, right before it get bad for everybody else, it's going to get bad for us because in the, in the process of things getting bad for them, they're going to, just like in the old time, they're going to just blame it on all on us, as you see, like, not necessarily talking about, Israelites in the truth, but as you can see how the whole country's going to stir up over so-called Mexicans with this border wall, you see? And this wall really isn't about Mexicans, but as you can see how they've turned the tables to having all these Americans not liking so-called Mexicans, all right, over a border wall, all right, that has nothing to do with Mexicans to begin with. You see what I'm saying? The deeper you go into it, that's a defensive wall for military purposes. All right. And if you watch the movie The Hunger Games, you'll see exactly why they want a wall. All right. And if you know what the future of America is, you have all these people talking about concentration camps and things like this and that. But like if you was in their seats and you trying to put everybody in concentration camps, if I was in their seats and I wanted to do the same thing they was doing, I would fucking turn America into a big ass prison first and foremost, and then make smaller prisons inside of America instead of making smaller prisons inside of America and try to grow them to everybody in America is in prison. No, you cut off all of America and then you slowly but surely, you know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, not going too far off in the wall, but nevertheless, you start to see how all these things are going to trickle down and all the blame is going to get put onto us. All right. This is nothing new. All right. They're going to start seeing all these things start to happen and come to pass. And they're going to remember back in their minds, man, there were some men that were sitting out on the highways and the byways and they were saying certain things like this, just like right now, you have not going too far off again into that border wall thing, but with the government shutdown, all right, you having a lot of these Edomites, watching the news, like, man, it's the first time I ever had to do this and that, at the pawn my wedding ring, I got to go and take my car down to CarMax tomorrow to sell my car, hopefully to make my last mortgage payment, you know what I'm saying? And after that, I don't know what I'm going to do. This is the first time I've ever been in a position like that, but now these people are going to start looking around, you know what I'm saying? And then, lo and behold, these same people might remember, hey man, I remember it was some black people talking about I was about to go into slavery and then we ain't shit, and as they sitting in their house losing everything, once they, once you get down to the bottom and you losing everything, you start blaming any and everybody else for all your problems. You know what I'm saying? You don't ever look back, a lot of people never look back to the things that they did to see how they got in their own situation. All right. We're not to blame for none of these things. I mean, you the one believed and trusted into this government. You the one propping up this government, the one that's doing these things to you. All right. You're giving your oppressor the ammo. All right. But it's not our fault. We like the spiritual weatherman telling you, hey, man, it's about to rain and flood tomorrow. And your house got flooded. But because we told you it was going to rain and flood, you want to come and gangbang on us. We're not in control of the weather. You know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing that's going on here. So with the things that's coming to pass, hey, we've been preaching about this economy is about to fall. And as you see, hey, man, things ain't looking too good for these Edomites, and these Edomites is realizing this. All right. They starting to panic. This is why they have these things called death by despair. They commit suicide on all kind of levels. You see what I'm saying? there was a video one of the brothers put up about this cop. I believe it was a brother you call out in San Francisco camp. There was an Edomite cop, all right, who used to take pleasure. Like, man, he ain't go out. I just want a body. I want to find me a body. He wanted to throw Jake in jail for some drugs. He said, I don't care if it's a pipe, if it's a bag, if it's a whole kilo or whatever the fuck it was. I just want a body at the end of the night, and he was so adamant about going out and, that was his get off, like, how some men like, man, I don't give a damn. As long as I go to the club, find me a bad bitch, we good. Same with this cop, right? Going out, busting all these, Jakes for drug crimes and everything like that, where a lot of Jakes is in jail for nonviolent, petty drug crimes, using some drugs, what I'm saying? They ain't harming nobody but they self, what I'm saying? I mean, they could be harming their relatives depending on what drugs they on, but nevertheless, it's not like they killing nobody else, they're not going out killing nobody, but yet they're in jail for these things, right? This cop's daughter wound up getting on drugs, and long story short, he tried to help her out certain ways, thinking that, it was a little different. He could, first, he was thinking Jake, on drugs, like, hey, they just want to do this, they did this and that. But he saw the inside of it with his daughter, and how she needed help. She was a victim. She wasn't somebody on drugs, just like anybody with any kind of addiction. You ask them about their addiction, they don't want to be addicted to whatever they're addicted to. That's just basically the demon that's on them. They can't, it's hard for them to get from out of that state. But nevertheless, long story short, his daughter wound up dying and he was just so broken. And he's like, I don't know what the fuck to do. I thought about this with the drugs and that. Now he's just, his whole world is destroyed now, and all it takes him to do is sit in the house, get a little drunk, and be like, you know what, these niggers was selling drugs to my daughter and she died. I'm like, no, man, wait a minute. You Edomites the ones who brought the shit over here, took our jobs away and gave us the drugs to sell. And you Edomites got the money to come and buy the drugs. We don't have the money to buy them damn drugs. Come on, man. We broke. That's why we selling the drugs, But nevertheless, with all these things coming to pass, man, don't think it's strange that all these things are going to be blamed on you. All right. You the biggest enemy in the whole world, the whole world, really, but the United States, you the biggest enemy. All right. You basically terrorist number one. All right. And the reason that you terrorist number one is not because you're killing nobody, you plotting on nobody or nothing like this. You just telling them what the problem is. It's like you got a friend that's a junkie. All right. Yeah, you got a friend that's a junkie, right? Now he got some money, right? And you tell him, bro, you need to get up off of them drugs, man. You just like, all you do is sit around and just do crack all day, and now long story short, you broke, you didn't pull the Scott Storch and you trying to tell your boy like, yo, man, you going broke. Now this motherfucker broke and he looking at you like you did something wrong. Like, nah, bro, I try to tell you, what I'm saying? But you didn't want to listen. But now you coming at me for these things. So it's nothing weird. It's nothing new. This is what it is. You terrorist number one to them because basically, what I'm saying? You fucking up they they little mojo. They having fun with their folly right now. They want to keep going around being homosexuals. And as these plays start rolling on them, they're going to see that you the only ones that's screaming out on them. Everybody else is pacifying that. Everybody else is, aiding and abetting in their delusion. You see what I'm saying? And telling these people, hey, you Jake women, you can go to the strip club and twerk on the pole and get your bag and all this. And there's nothing wrong with that. They only like you when you tell them that. But when you tell them the truth that they're going to get destroyed for doing all these things, then they come up and be your enemy. But then when, money stop coming, they're going to fuck niggas right there. We all in a bad position because of them. All right. So, just getting into the scriptures, not, trying to make the intro too long, just had to say that to kind of bring it into the perspective because we read these scriptures all the time. But now we right here at it. Like I said, with the thing with the news thing, I seen it on the news when it came across. But now, you know what I'm saying? I'm seeing actual news stories, not people doing news on it, but actual news stories from these big companies going back to this same story. They're putting the focus on the so-called white boy, and the Native American man. But nevertheless, every time they do, they have to throw in the black Hebrew Israelites. You see how they keep demonizing us, you see? And which camp did they happen to have around there? All right. So they keep putting us up there like that. You know what I'm saying? Or they keep putting them up there like that, and they keep so-called leading the people to the black Hebrew Israelites, because when you watch all of that, you'll see that the so-called Native American man, because they gave him a platform to speak after the protests. All right. Then they had the so-called white boy up there and they gave him his little platform to speak after his protest, but they won't come to the, a true and sincerity group and speak to some, real, Israelites. All right. Hebrew Israelites. All right. They want to go to these camps that's been set up. All right. And to, basically help demonize us. All right. Just like they did with the church. They want to demonize the church. What better way? Like the thing with, if I was the devil, You know, oh, I will hijack the church. Hell yeah, that's the smartest thing to do. Let me go hijack the church and fuck up the church. Now I know there's no way for them to get no salvation. I.e., look what happened to Israel. Once we forgot who our power was, we couldn't call out to them. Then we was fucked. All right. But nevertheless, getting into these scriptures, I'm going to start out here in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. It says, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as has afflicted him and made no account for his labors. All right. And we've been on the highways and the byways, you know what I'm saying? Starting with our elder apostles on down, you know what I'm saying? Hey, before them, you know what I'm saying? You know, you had brothers on the highways and the byways prophesying in great boldness in the face of our enemies, these Edomites. All right. That's what it is. You know, we on the highways and the byways. We not in no church. We not hidden. We don't have a hidden agenda. All right. So this, you know, if they want to so-called call us one of these so-called hidden groups, you know, you have these so-called hidden groups where they try to infiltrate these groups, or they're like, oh, these are terrorist organizations. We need to spy on them and figure out what they doing. Like, well, shit, it's not hard to figure out what the hell we doing. We put all of our business on the internet, you know. There's not, you know, the only thing that we really do behind the scenes that you can't see is, you know, we text brothers and, you know, we do the same thing we doing to y'all. We lift brothers up, you know, we talk to brothers just like as, you know, as we friends and stuff like that. But the majority of our work, 98% of our work, y'all, everybody see it, what we doing. We go on the highways and the byways when we get together, you know what I'm saying? And we preach. You see our whole motive and everything like that. And we do the video epistles, you know. And great boldness. We let you know our whole game plan. This is the shit. You know what I'm saying? We know y'all finna come up against us with war. All right. And we not carnally stockpiling and prepping for that. No, we spiritually prepping for that with the Lord. We hoping and praying and having faith that the Lord is going to deliver us. That's our game plan. That's our so-called special move, you know? So we you know, we're not really trying to hide nothing. All right. So when these people try to come in and demonize us with everything like that, you can just go back and look at all our videos, man. That's our game plan. Those are our secrets, our whole secret. You know what I'm saying? If you want to do a so-called, I mean, you could clip this and be like, oh, a GMS member exposed GMS. That's the truth. Y'all see every damn thing that we do. You know what I'm saying? So there's nothing really else behind it. So we standing in great boldness in front of those that afflicted us. All right. And we letting you know the whole game plan. We're not hiding nothing from you. All right. It says, Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as has afflicted him and made no account of his labors. All right. And, you know, we out in the highways and the byways, letting Esau know his judgment. You know, you have taken, you know, basically my silver, my gold. You've sold Judah into the Grecians, you know, those types of things, you know, and for your perpetual hatred, you know, the Most High going to cut you off forever. That's what we out here telling you. All right. Verse 2, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation so far beyond all they looked for. All right. Now, this is kind of going into a lot more, but I just want to really touch on a point. It says, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed. Well, they shall. Part I want to get is when they see it, they shall be troubled. All right. And the they is the ones that afflicted us, the so-called Edomites and everybody else. All right. Now, touching on that, they shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation so far beyond they look for, which it'll further go into that. But basically, at the end of the day, you know, hey, niggas and spics getting saved in UFOs. What the fuck? The angels, you know, the Lord is black. You know what I'm saying? It's going to go further into all of that. You know what I'm saying? Because they doubting us and everything like that and the things that we saying. But nevertheless, when they see us standing up on our feet, you know, Ezekiel 37, the valley of the dry bones, when they see us stand up on our feet, then this great fear is going to fall upon them. Because why? They've been trying for so long, so hard to keep us brainwashed, dumbed down, emasculated, and all these different things like that to keep us asleep. So we wouldn't wake up to this here truth, because they know what? Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So they know, oh shit, well, if the prophets don't ever wake up, then they can't, you know, raise up other prophets and, you know, wake up the elect, pronounce judgment against this place, and then judgment come. They can't do that if you know, if basically if we keep them asleep. So this is what they've been trying to do. But now the men of the Lord is waking up. And so now they're like, oh shit, you know, now the men of the Lord, you know, are out there prophesying, and we starting to see the effects of it. You know, it's like, you know, you in some kind of, safe or some shit like that, you know, and you think you're protected by something, or let's say you're in a bulletproof car, right? And somebody out there shooting at your car, and you like, you know, I'm safe. The bullets is getting stopped. This is snap. But then after a while, they still shooting at the car. Slowly but surely, on the inside of the glass, you starting to see that bitch start to rock. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit, I don't know how much longer I can stay in here and this glass is gonna hold up, because they just sit, they got rounds for days and the glass is starting to crack on the inside now. So right now, this is the position that these elites are in. They like, oh shit, you know, we had these niggas that, I mean, they took us serious because they know what the business was. It was only you 2/3 and you wicked motherfuckers that don't take us serious. But, you know, these elites take us serious. This is why they don't put us on the news like that. Out of all these crazy things, they only put us in the news, you know, for bad topics, but they never really put us in the news and try to interview us and see what's really going on, you know. But nevertheless, you know, they starting to see these things come to pass and they're like, oh shit, you know, the economy starting to get rocked. We starting to see, you know, Gog and Magog, which they also are part of the same plan, because they doing the same damn thing too, you know. But nevertheless, going back to the scriptures, verse 2, Wisdom of Solomon 5:2, it says, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation so far beyond they look for. And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this is he whom we had sometimes in derision, a proverb of reproach. All right. We fools accounted his life madness and his end without error. How was he numbered among the children of the Most High and his lot among the saints? All right. Let me just keep reading. It says, therefore we have erred from the way of the truth, and the light of righteousness have not shone unto us, for the sun of righteousness rose not upon us. We reared ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Okay. I'm gonna come back to verse 7. We reared ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yea, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way, but as the way of the Lord we have not known it. Would have pride profited us, or would have riches, or what good have riches with our vaunting brought us? So basically, in this point in time, you know what I'm saying? Really getting on, on everybody, really, these Edomites, and then 2/3 of our people, our own relatives and things like this. All right. Once they finally see that we was right the whole time and we the ones getting salvation and they the ones getting basically, turned to missile food and shit like that, just basically becoming dung for the earth, they're gonna be like, oh shit, maybe we was wrong. Oh fuck, oh damn, oh Lord, oh shit, man, oh damn, we fucked up. You know you fucked up, right? They're gonna be in that moment. They're gonna be looking around and be like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like right now they saying, you know, these stupid niggas, they talking about this and that, and the economy collapsing. I got $56 million, or I got $900 million. I'll just, at a private plane in a bunker, I'll just go over there and over here. You know what I'm saying? But once shit start popping off, you know what I'm saying? Like, hell, let me think about certain places. Texas, right? When they had the storm out there in Texas, right? You know, the rich people and the poor people, they was all in the same boat. Cause, you know, power and shit go out like that. You can't get to the bank. Y'all in the same boat. You know, you can have somebody like, you and Jay-Z. Let's just say all of a sudden, you know, you got you and Jay-Z. Let's say possibly Jay-Z is, doing some kind of little internet special or something like that where they filming and he's on a train in New York or some shit with everybody else, whatever, whatnot. You know, let's just say they got security around him. He the only person on the train, right? Now, let's say something happened and the power go out. You know what I'm saying? They got to come up out of the train station, him and his little camera crew. Jay-Z and all his money become just like the same broke motherfucker that's on the ground over there. They both running around. He can't get to his money. You see what I'm saying? He can't get to none of the things he you know what I'm saying, thought that could save him. But then now you on an equal playing field, but then now there's going to be a separation because everybody going to be brought to that equal playing field. The rich and the poor, they're going to all be brought down to the low. All right. And hey, sometimes having more put you in a worse scenario. All right. Because Jake, who ain't got shit, when shit go left field and they got to eat, poor Jake ain't going to be the target. You know, wise Jake ain't going to be trying to rob other poor Jake to get some food because this nigga ain't got no food in his house. You know, you're going to try to break into Jake's house and he going to be gone from his house because there ain't shit in there. All right. Y'all going to be running up in these Edomites or these well-off people houses. So having better, you know what I'm saying? And that's going to be the time when they're going to be like, oh shit, we done fucked up. We thought all this and that. And I was bragging and boasting about how much money I got. You know, people like Floyd Mayweather. Oh, look at how much money I got. This, bro, you a big ass target. Now we know where to go. All right. But nevertheless, going back to verse 7, it says, we wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. All right. We have gone through deserts where there lay no way, but as for the way of the Lord, we have not known it. All right. So it says we wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. And that's what they're doing right now. You know, they prolonging themselves in this way of destruction, obviously by not coming back into the truth, but they also mocking and scoffing at the prophets. All right. So they don't really have a clear understanding or a visualization of what's really coming to them. All right. They think everything is going to be fine and dandy and go on forever and ever. All right. But nevertheless, let me go back into to the scriptures here. All right. So in Wisdom of Solomon 5, hey, we're going to stand up in great boldness in the face of those that have afflicted us. All right. And when they see it, they're going to be troubled and amazed. You know, they're going to be weary. They're going to be shaken. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be like, oh shit. But then at the same time, they're going to be like, you know, when you get to that certain point, like, well, fuck it. If I'm going out, y'all going out with me. I ain't going to be the only one to go out like no sucker. You know, you have people that go out like that sometimes, like, well, fuck it. If this is the end for me, this is going to be the end for you too. All right. So this is Revelation 11:11. After 3 days and a half, the Spirit of the Most High entered into them and they stood upon their feet. All right. Going back to what? You know, I did a couple of videos on this not too long ago, but really, long story short, Ezekiel 37. All right. Prophesying to them, and the bones came into the bones, and you know what I'm saying. Prophesying to the wind, breath came into them, and then there stood, you know, an exceedingly great army, basically. All right. So that's going into. Let me go back. Revelation 11:11. And after 3.5 days, 3 days and a half, the Spirit of the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. So the men of the Lord, all right, they woke back up to their lot of who they was going to be or who they are. All right, started prophesying. All right. Putting forth the word of the Lord, you know, giving judgment, blowing that trumpet. All right. And then it says what? And great fear fell upon them, going back to Wisdom of Solomon 5:5, or Wisdom of Solomon 5, starting at the top. All right. So, you know, that great fear falling upon them. All right. Like I said, going back to Wisdom of Solomon 5, they starting to see these things, not just these things, because they've been seeing us. All right. They starting to see the effects of these things. They starting to see the things that we've been saying coming true. All right. Now, you 2/3 of our people, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, it's not in this truth. You're not going to really see this. All right. You got to be one of these goddamn Edomites that know better. Like if you a Jake that think this is an equal, fair society, the white man ain't your enemy, this and that, you have no idea. All right. These Edomites know that they getting housing vouchers and shit like that that keep them ahead of you and you beneath them. All right. They have some shit that you don't even know about, you know, 100-year mortgage. Your mortgage is 15 to 30 years, even if you even get qualified for a mortgage. These motherfuckers get 100-year mortgages. All right. Just like as if your ass was on Section 8. All right. You over here paying $12 a month in rent. Hey, they doing about the same damn thing. So they can use a lot of their resources for other things, or they getting housing vouchers. All right. But nevertheless, these people are starting to see this and great fear is falling upon them. All right. Now, when they get into this fearful state, all right, let me grab my next precept. This is how all this is going to start transpiring. All right. This is Jeremiah chapter 30. I'm going to start at the top, or Jeremiah 30:5. For thus saith Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling and of fear and not of peace. And that's the argument that's going out now. All right. Everybody save the men of the Lord is out there saying, no, everything's going to be good. What is the how they say the saying of this presidential reign or whatever? Make America great again. Everybody's in the spirit of America bouncing back. You know, they all got it through their head now that Donald Trump is in office that, yeah, America didn't fail to some kind of, some lower state, but shit, we trying to bounce back. We trying to get back up on our feet. All right. But it says, Jeremiah 30:5, for thus saith Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. All right. So this is basically, like the men of the Lord and the people that's, the wise, the people basically more or less in the path of righteousness. All right. Because they all talking about peace, safety, and prosperity and things like this. Oh, we're going to make America great again. We're going to do this and that. And we need to so on and so forth. But what? It ain't going to be no peace, man. This is all coming to an end. All right. Verse 6, ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Right. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail and faces turning into paleness. All right. And I love reading that because I think the Most High, I ain't gonna say that. The Most High is just the Most High. All right. The Almighty. But nevertheless, you know what I'm saying? Translate this into regular Jake talk. You know what I'm saying? The Most High is like, yo, why hear these niggas crying like bitches? I hear a whole bunch of bitch made ass niggas crying like a bunch of bitches. Bitches in labor. You know what I'm saying? But as a real analogy, you know what I'm saying? You know, when you have a woman that's in labor, you know, she's screaming, giving birth, that's a painful thing. So you hear her screaming like that, you be like, oh shit, she is in some serious pain. You know, you can hear a woman getting her ass beat, a woman in a car accident, hemmed up in the worst position, a bad position, and she's screaming. Yeah, it's a horrible scream to hear. But hey, man, when a woman is giving birth, that's a horrible scream to hear. You know, she has to push and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it's going to be like that when with men, though. The Most High is like, yo, why I hear basically like, you know, women crying in labor. No, that ain't no bitch crying. Them some niggas crying. That's Big Brody and Tyrone type niggas, cock diesel ass niggas crying like bitches over there. Why these niggas crying like bitches? All right. And the reason for this is verse 7. Alas, that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. All right. Let me touch on one more verse real quick, and then I'll go back into that. This is Daniel 12:1. It says that at that time shall Michael stand up, that great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, which we just read about Jacob's trouble. All right, and to describe that time, it says, such as never was since there was a nation, even into the same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered, everyone that should be found written in the book. All right. So the Jacob's trouble is going to be a time like never before since there was a nation, even into the same time. All right. So this is going to be the worst time ever on planet Earth. All right. You see what I'm saying? It's going to be worse than 9/11, worse than World War I, II, transatlantic slave trade, all these things combined. It's going to be worse than all of that. All right. Because you got AI, you got nanobots, you got fucking every damn thing. You got laser weapons. You got every damn thing. The mark of the beast, man. You're going to have all this shit popping off, thermonuclear warfare all at the same time rolling out, you know? So you're going to basically have a big, massive purge on top of a bunch of different things. All right. This time's going to be like never before. But how do we get to these times? How do we get to a point of no return where it's like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just go out and just gang banging every man for himself, and we'll just rebuild after all of that. You know, you get to a certain point, you're like, you know what? To hell with all of that. To hell with playing fair. You know, we're going to get rich or die trying my way. Fuck that. I ain't listening to y'all no more. We're going to get to a point like that after a while, after a certain point, you know, like when you see in certain countries like, Syria or Venezuela and places like that, where you have things like, they call them terrorist groups, but you have like actual groups, of native people, like let's say in Syria, actual groups of native people is grabbing up arms and they so-called, fighting. You know what I'm saying? They're basically freedom fighters. And in all actuality, they're like freedom fighters. They're fighting for their own freedom. They just fighting to stay alive. You know what I'm saying? Hey, nobody here to help us. You know what I'm saying? Nobody gonna be here to feed us. What do? We wait here for, you know, somebody to bomb us and we just die? Nah, I'm gonna try to survive as long as possible. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just keep doing what I gotta do. But what? These types of things are gonna all start, happening. All right. It's gonna start getting into a point like that from what? All these things that we talking about starting to come to pass. All right. Hey, the economy collapse, race wars, and things like that. Famine of the word. You know, once they shut down the internet, we know the thing is going to start really rolling quick. All right. Then also with the mark of the beast, all these things are going to turn things into basically like a state of anarchy and chaos. All right. So it's going to be like a time again like never was before on planet Earth. All right. And again, you men of the Lord that's on the highways and the byways preaching all this, people are going to look at you as if you are the reason for this. All right. For weeks and months on end, you telling these people of the island of let's just say Hawaii, right? A little small island somewhere, right? Or Puerto Rico. You telling the people of Puerto Rico like, yo, there's a huge ass hurricane coming that's going to demolish the whole island. You have to leave now. And the people are like, man, this nigga over here always talking about this bullshit. This is snap. Whoop-de-woo. We gonna stay here and whatever, you know? Then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? The clouds get dark and the storms start coming. They starting to see, you know what I'm saying? They looking out, at their neighborhood. They starting to see houses getting torn up. You know, the whole block is just getting decimated. You know what I'm saying? And now they thinking in their mind, fuck, man, my house is getting destroyed. My brand new Benz I just worked for, man, fuck, I would have still had my Benz if it wasn't for them bullshit ass niggas talking about it was going to be a storm and a flood. Man, fuck them niggas. You see what I'm saying? That's how it all rolls down. Like, we didn't call the storm. We was trying to tell you that this shit was coming and get your house together before you get washed up in the storm. But now you didn't take heed and you want to blame us for your folly. Like the scripture say, they didn't, after all these things, they still didn't repent. All right. But nevertheless, this is what's going to turn up this heat to that point. Once everybody start losing every damn thing, they're going to be like, well, fuck it. We done lost everything and it's you niggas' fault. All right. And that's where we're coming to now. As you seeing them put us on the news now. All right. They're getting the people more and more familiar with us as if they aren't already familiar with us. You got everybody talking about Jacob, Esau. You know, you got people like Nick Cannon wearing a Mitri. You know what I'm saying? And not to say he right or wrong or anything like that, but nevertheless, it still stirred questions. You know, Kendrick Lamar talking about he's an Israelite. I ain't black no more. I'm an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? Again, not saying that these people are right or wrong, but it's still putting it out there into these people's ears, and it's pushing this to people like, what the hell is he talking about? Let me search that up. All right. So this is out in the four corners of the earth right now. So we at the time, you know what I'm saying? You boiling some water on the stove, and you starting to see those first couple bubbles start to come up. So you know, but all right, we about to be boiling here in a couple minutes. All right. This is Matthew 24, verse 8. It says, all of these are the beginning. Let me start up at the top at 6. It says, and you should hear of wars and rumors of wars. Now the question is asked is when is the time of the end? Verse 6, Matthew 24:6, and you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, pestilence, earthquakes in diverse places. All right, and that's what we see all this right now. All right, we in the midst of all of that right now. What does verse 8 say? All these are the beginnings of sorrows. All right. So this is just the beginning. We ain't not quite into Jacob's trouble yet. All right. Verse 9, they shall deliver you up to be afflicted and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then many shall be offended, and one shall betray another and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise and deceive many. We see them already. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But let me jump to verse 14. And this gospel shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, then the end shall come. All right, now I'm going to go back to verse 13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. So I read that way for a timeline reference. You know what I'm saying? We out here preaching into the four corners of the earth right now. All right. Then you have many false prophets that's rising up and deceiving many, you know, IUIC and things like that. All right. These false camps. And then you also have these Christians that's been out there. All right. But nevertheless, you're starting to see, hey, people's, how to say, then they shall deliver you up to, well, let me go to, verse 12, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Verse 10, and then many shall be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another. All right. So the love of many gonna start waxing cold. Why is it gonna be like this? You know what I'm saying? If you got a friend, you and your best friend, again, I gave this analogy earlier. You got a best friend, you got you a whole lot of money. You tell him, bro, you got a spending habit or you got a drug problem, but you need to lay off of that before you lose everything. And you go like, man, you a hater, bro. Stop hating on me, bro. Let me do me. Then your ass finally get broke. You know what I'm saying? Now you're looking at your friend as if your friend is the reason why you broke. And you know what I'm saying? Because you can't sit there and take responsibility for your own doing. You blame him. This is what they doing. They don't want to take responsibility for the wickedness that they doing. They know they doing wickedness. This is why this is the condemnation starting with our people, only for our people. They don't want to come to the light, you know, because their deeds are evil or wicked and they don't want to be exposed for this. But nevertheless, it says, verse 9, then they shall deliver you up to be afflicted and shall kill you, and you should be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And so this is what's going on. This is what our future is. All right. People are going to start hating us for the things that's going on to them. All right. And they're like, arrest these people, put them in jail, so on and so forth. They terrorists, they hate crimes and this and that. You see, as they making all the laws to come down on us, all these laws that they pushing for hate speech and this and that, and all these data breaches and hacking on online, all these things is basically geared to shut us down. All right. But they can't just come out here and say, oh, this is who we coming after, because then it'll be like, well, what the hell are these people saying? Y'all trying to cut out the truth. But once they can secretly cut out the truth and they keep doing all these things, and they're like, well, y'all is the ones that's out here just rambling on. We all trying to have a good time and love and all this, and y'all are preaching hate. You know, a couple years ago, they was always telling me, you're preaching hate. You're preaching hate. They don't even say that shit no more because they live in it now. All right. Real quick, let me try to finish up. This is John 17. Verse 9 says, I pray for them. I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine. All right. And all of mine are thine, and thine are mine, and I am glorified in them. All right. So again, the Lord is saying he don't pray for the world, but he prays for his elect, because there's separation. We not of them. They're going to be coming up against us. All right. We were separated out of the world. We put off that old man and came, we washed ourselves. We was baptized. All right. We was born again into the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, not in the spirit and power of Esau, Edom, and Babylon. All right. Verse 12, while I was with them in the world, I kept them in my name, in thy name. Those that thou gavest me, I kept them, and none of them was lost, but the son of perdition, that the scripture might be fulfilled. Verse 13, and now come I to thee, and these things I speak in the world, that they might have joy, that they might have my joy fulfilled in themselves. I have given them my word, and the world hath hated them. All right. That's why they hate us, because we have the testimony of the truth, the one thing that nobody else could break down, this real truth, the prophecies. All right. I have given them thy word, and the world hated them, because they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. All right. So what? We're not of the world. We're not doing the things that the world is doing right now. We're not partaking in all the things that they partaking in and this and that. People look at us weird and stuff like that. You know how many people say to me, like, you don't have a Snapchat or a Facebook or Instagram? What's wrong with you? Like, and it's kind of hard for me to explain to them, not try to look so weird. Like, yo, man, basically it's the devil. I mean, what good could come out of that? You trying to explain this shit to somebody who don't, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, man, like, you can't explain that shit to somebody who just want to keep doing wicked, But nevertheless, verse 15, I pray not that thou should take them out of the world, but thou should keep them from the evil. All right. They are not of the world, even as I'm not of the world. All right. Verse 17, sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth. All right. And thou hast sent me into the world, even as I have also sent them into the world. So we've been sent to this here world. All right. Not to just, leave the world, just so-called be saved that way, but we have to go through and endure so we can fish out the rest of the men. It's like those firefighters. We have to run into the burning building. Everybody else is escaping the building. The people that's going to be saved, they escaping the building now. But we, as the prophets, are the firefighters, got to run into this here burning building to save the rest of the elect that can be saved and bring them out of the burning building. All right. That's why the Lord didn't take us up out of this here world. All right. We have to be up into this world to the very end, because what? The elect going to be scarcely saved. It's going to be all the way up to the last minute. All right. This is Revelation chapter 20, verse 4. And I saw the thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that was beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of the Most High, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hand. And they lived and reigned with Hamashiach for 1,000 years. So some of us, the men of the Lord, is going to have to be beheaded for this here testimony. All right. So, hey, it's about to get real around here. All right. It's about to get real serious. All right. You got to understand in a lot in the things that you're doing. All right. And the things that you into, because, hey, man, this is going to be some real serious shit. All right. And this is the time now come. All right. This is Matthew 10 and 34. Think not that I've come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. And that's what a lot of Christians don't understand about who the world inly calls Jesus Christ, Yahushua. All right. Verse 35. For I have come to set a man variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. All right. And he that loveth his father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth his son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. He that taketh up his cross and followeth after me is not, he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. So basically saying, if you don't look, not to say you can't love your mother and your father and your kids and stuff like that, but your mom say go do this or that, whatever, put it this way. You know what I'm saying? You want to listen to the Lord first and foremost, because, I always think about things like this. Fuck everybody else. I'm dealing with the Lord first and foremost. Even if you my woman and I love you, and my kids and I love you, and my parents and my family and I love you. Listen, the Most High can put your ass to death and bring your ass back to life. You can't put me to death or put yourself to death and bring yourself back to life. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, I love you to death, but I know the Lord can, if he choose, he can put you to death and bring you back to life. He can save you, but you can't. You can separate me from the Lord, but you can't bring me back to the Lord like that. You see what I'm saying? So, you don't want to lose that which you can't gain back, which is the Lord. You don't want to be, it's a fearful thing to fall in the hands of a living power. You don't want to get at odds with him. All right. He can, you can get at odds with your parents, and he can, sew y'all back together. All right. I got one more precept. Lord willing, we can get this without being cut off. Zechariah 13 and 3. And it says, it shall come to pass that when any shall yet prophesy, then his father and his mother that begot him shall say unto them, Thou shalt not live, for thou speakest lies in the name of Yahweh. And his father and his mother that begot him shall thrust him through when he prophesied. And it shall come to pass in that day that the prophet shall be ashamed every one of his visions when he prophesied. Neither shall they wear a rough garment to deceive, but he shall say, I am no prophet, I am a husbandman, for man taught me to keep cattle from my youth. And one shall say to them, What are these wounds in thy hand? And he shall answer, Those with which I was wounded in the house of my friend. So basically, long story short, a lot of us men of the Lord, we don't really like to go around bragging, boasting, oh, we prophets, this and that. People, nickname us, oh, you prophet, preach on prophet, this and that. Hey man, humbly, we don't try to put that on our own self. If anything, man, we trying to keep the Lord's sheep. We trying to, we doing the work. That's all we doing. We just employees. We servants, more or less to say. But nevertheless, we doing a job that the Most High gave us. But hey, at the same time, when we doing these things, it's not necessarily a good thing. We're not going on Facebook or nothing like that. Hey, I'm a prophet. I'm a man of the Lord. I'm trying to get, glory and stuff like that. When you really into this, you public enemy number one. You're going to be hated. You know what I'm saying? Because you doing this here work, and you, one precept real quick, Lord willing, I can grab this, and we're going to close out with this, because this is going to give you the whole rundown. John 3 and 19 real quick. It says, and this is the condemnation, that light is coming to the world, and men love darkness rather than the light, because their deeds was evil. All right. For everyone that doth evil hated the light, neither coming to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved. And we're going to go ahead and close out with that. All right. Just know that what's coming, and stay in the Lord and stay in his faith. All right. With that, I'm going to say, Call halal Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, Bashem Rakah Kodash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of great millstone that taught us his truth and that rule well. And citation and much love for you. I can push his truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth, and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say, stay strong and shalom.